Hello and welcome back to the Wildlands campaign, everybody. Take a second, just be vibing with the scenery, the sound, the wilderness, and the constant, uncivilized danger of the wildlands. I'm giving those of you on stream a player's eye view of what they can actually see. Thank you so much, Taladar, for resubscribing once again. Be sure to use your Amazon Primate subscription to support your favorite streamer. Yes, that joke is the joke of the evening, as last time you guys had some final discussions with Oos and others at the settlement of the Skyweavers, Akiri's clan. And the Aarakocras send you off well-provisioned, well-rested, and just in general with a new person in tow, Shadir, the brother of Akiri, and one whom you have seen has a deep knowledge of certain lore, especially runes, that has come into play previously. The thing is that Shadir has never traveled very far before, and he has required a great deal of help. Even though he can fly, he was overloaded, and in fact they sent him off with two one-person tents. And Bref already had a two-person tent. So there are 3 tents, and then one lean-to that you guys may have constructed to protect some of your stuff from the damp, or which I've stuck Mavra at the moment. You traveled over terrain that you had just been traveling a few days previously, after spending a day with the Aarakocras, but this time you knew which parts of the mountain and the forest to avoid to make it easier on your horses, now well loaded up with all of your camping gear, even if you guys are personally, especially in Bref's case, taking on a lot of the load, even for the horses. But you made your way over a couple of days' travel, teaching Shadir how to deal with camping for long periods of time. As you went, you passed by you came to the hunting lodge where you had previously been beset and nearly died to a bunch of bandits, only to find all of those bodies gone, and instead a humanoid figure was spread-eagled and nailed to the wall, wearing a bone cuirass, bone armor, and having a setup that was highly suspicious of some kind of black magic. The decision was made not to pilfer the treasures that were scattered about, or to search the well-apportioned cuirass or the dead figure, but you instead went a little ways farther on. You're well off any kind of trail or track here, as the trail or track went by the hunting lodge. And you camped under a cliff with a nice solid wall at your backs, and by a river for water. And that is where we find you now. In the night, you settled down, and Shadir was kind of freaking out, this being his second night of camping in a row, really for the first time. And there was some debate, but the decision was made to light a fire, despite the additional danger that brings in the dark mountains. A roll was made, and unfortunately, the slight increase in danger for having the fire made the difference. And upon the first watch, which is Akiri being the only one awake, as it swings toward midnight, the rest of you wearily sleeping off the day's mountainous hiking. Akiri, you rolled a natural 20 to perceive approaching creatures. No, most of the forest sounds, you can hear the crackling of the fire, the flowing of water, of the quiet river. But you saw these kind of hulking shapes approaching through the forest and across the riverbank. With your natural 20, you can see, which you normally would have a hard time seeing, but you can kind of make out through the dim light, beyond the reach of the firelight, the eyes reflecting the campfire. And Akiri, I'm going to, because of your natural 20, I'm going to ping where the enemies are. And you can ask me to do this again anytime you want. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. So here, 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 on one side, on the western side, and on the eastern side here, and up here. Okay? And then just across the river down to the south, down here. Now, the 5 on your side, you can see they are these hulking ape-like shapes. These massive monkey-like figures, but bigger and with these powerful-looking arms that are creeping up through the trees. A few of them hanging off of the trees. And you can see their fangs bared hungrily as they look upon you, well lit in your campfire. I say well lit, however, the campfire, which is right here, has burned down low. You're not necessarily keeping it as a bonfire in the night while your friends sleep. But you can toss some dry twigs onto the fire as an action. I say you, I mean anyone can do this. It is an action to toss dry twigs from the pile onto the fire, in which case in the following round, and for the rest of the fight, it will burn brighter, and the light will be extended 15 to 20 feet. Okay, so you know this, having built many fires and tended many fires at this point in your adventures. Okay?
Sounds good.
Cool.
Okay. Other than that, I think everything is pretty WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. In terms of the river, the cliff is over here, the horses are over here, and these trees are going to partially block line of sight. And also be difficult terrain to move through. The river isn't super loud, but it does have some depth and current to it, not too, it's not rapids or anything. Okay. Unless there are any questions, Akiri, instead of being completely surprised by this nearly silent, stealthy approach. Oh, wait, one more thing before I forget. I'm about to have you roll initiative, but before I do, I mentioned that there was something different about one of the apes. Correct?
E.
So the one down here on the southern side of the river, on the other bank, that ape-like shape is weird. And you peer at it, and in the dim light, past the firelight, you can make out this ghostly coloration. And you watch as this figure kind of rises up, and its eyes glint red, and it raises itself up and up to its full height. It is 10 feet tall. And you watch its arms, each one nearly as thick around as your torso, pulling it up on this tree branch, as well as its feet gripping the trunk. And then you realize there's another set of arms grabbing another branch and pulling it up into sight. And you realize it has too many arms. This hulking ape figure with the red eyes and the ghostly fur. Now, let's roll initiative. Remember to select your character first.
Question, because Akiri isn't entirely surprised, does that mean she has any...
I actually only Akiri is rolling, guys.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
You know what? You might as well just go ahead and do it.
I figured Vapos was, since he was also on watch.
Vapos was also on watch?
You've got me not being prone and awake.
Oh, well, that's because I forgot to give you the prone icon.
Okay.
I thought that it was only
Yeah, we
Akiri.
normally do watches in pairs. So
Okay. I don't remember who was on watch with Akiri.
we didn't actually specify.
I know it was Akiri and someone else. Or it was at least Akiri, I mean. I didn't
Yeah.
realize there was someone else, too. Was it actually... Breath Ping? No. I think it was Akiri.
I mean, if we're just looking at the order of the perception checks, Akira went and then I did. But
Okay. All right. Well, we'll say that Vapos is also awake.
okay.
Okay. So these guys have kept it quiet until now. And I rolled a natural 14. How's the sound level, everybody? And those of you watching the stream, too.
Good for me.
It's good level? Alright. So, Vapos, you don't have dark vision, correct?
I do not, but I can get it when
Currently.
I need it.
Currently.
Yeah,
So
I
you
don't
don't
currently.
currently see any of this happening.
Okay.
So actually only Akiri is, and she rolled a 23, very nice. Oh.
alrighty.
So Akiri, that is the situation. Vapos is currently checking on the horses, we'll say.
Alright.
And I am... Oh, wait. Okay, one more thing. Does anybody wish to change... Does anyone think they would be in a different spot than where I've put them? Because speak up now. Going once, going twice. Okay, this is the starting setup. Akiri, take it away.
Alright. So, Akiri is going to see that, oh hey, it's super dark out here, and everyone's still asleep. So, the first thing she's going to do is raise the alarm, and to do so, she's going to jump to her feet and yell, Guys! Guys! Monkeys! And then, because a lot of our party can't see in the dark, herself included, she is going to cast Daylight.
Oh my gosh.
Centered on the fire. Nah, centered on that stump.
Oh, the stump.
Sounds about. Alright, I'm coming back, sorry.
That's fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So there's a 60-foot radius of bright light and another 60 feet of dim light after that.
60 feet, you say?
Yeah, 60-foot radius. So this entire circle, we have 240 feet of light in total. Perfect. Sneak up us! Sneak up us! Sneak up us on. Sorry, sneak up on us now.
So you're sleepy.
Now you ain't.
Yeah. So I have put Bella in a tent, and Mavra kind of not in a tent. But you guys let me know if that's correct. 60 feet of light. Okay, I should measure that real quick. Oh my god, that's almost to the edge of the map in every direction.
And that's just the bright light.
That's just
then there's dim light, another 60 feet after.
Okay, so we're just going to need to reveal everything. At least that makes it easy. Mark off the spell, don't forget. The spell slot, I mean.
Yeah, I did. I did that, and then I told you what I was doing. Go ahead, did you?
Oh, before I forget, map by neutral party Patreon and tokens. Some of the tokens appearing here are from the ForgottenAdventures.net, which are free. Okay. So, is that everything you're doing, Akiri, or is there another
Yep, that's end of turn.
All right, so when she calls out, what's the best way of doing this? Okay, everybody that's waking up, you're still in a surprise round, but when it comes around to your turn, I'm going to ask you to make a Constitution saving throw or be sleepy when you're jolted awake. And I will also say that since you guys just had a full day of travel, if this fight happens to go on a long time, you are going to start getting potentially tired as well. Okay, so now that we know that, we are jumping all the way to the bottom of the initiative order. No, we're not. Bad guys go. In response to Akiri's calling out, the apes being fully revealed and squinting into the daylight begin to chant. The big white one with the 4 arms begins to go, hoo, 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 and all the other apes take up the chant, hoo, 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 slowly rising in volume. And that is going to trigger a save against fear. So that is going to be a wisdom save by everyone. 15 for Vapos, 10 for Breath, 15 for Mavra. Okay. So some of you, I'm letting you know it's fear in case you have a special thing against fear. So Vapos is fine, Mavra's fine. Breath is freaked out.
Look, I had some negative experiences with monkeys as a young child. It's not my fault.
Sorry, Max, I missed it. Do I need to...
Yes, everyone's making
Okay.
a wisdom saving throw. Thank you, Bella. You're fine. You're not afraid of this. Not yet, anyway.
An unnatural 20.
Okay. Okay, you're not afraid. You're not intimidated, Akiri. So it looks like Breath is the one who's jolted awake and freaked out, at least for the moment. Then,
Listen, he saw Wizard of Oz at a very young age.
And then some rocks come sailing in. Now, those of you who are in tents are not being targeted. So really that's just going to be Vapos. Vapos, these rocks go sailing over you and land on the ground, but freak out this horse. And it kind of kicks and startles.
Okay.
Mavra, it helps kick you awake as this rock goes slamming past. It's a pretty good-sized rock. It goes slamming past your head as you are lying down under the lean-to. Kiri, you twist this way and that from your position on the log, and none of them are going to put you in any great deal of danger. The highest still wouldn't hit you. However, this big white-furred one uses its 4 massive arms to rip a log, kind of a fallen log, off of the ground, vines snapping and tearing from it with these loud cracking sounds. And it hurls it like a tremendous spear, or like a caber throw, and it spins in the air over the river toward Akiri. Oh! An unfortunately low roll. So all of these would have been at advantage if you hadn't cast Daylight.
Incredible.
So which I'm just gonna. This roll doesn't count for anything. I just want to see what it. Yeah. So that would have hit you. Okay. So he is going to miss too. So bam! It slams into the ground nearby and smashes itself to flinders. And that jolts Vapos into action, apparently, as it is his turn now in this surprise-ish round.
Yeah, all right. Vapos is going to... Oh, let's see. He's got a good amount of speed here. Is there anything here that's difficult terrain, like going under or going through these bushes or anything?
Going through the bushes.
Or are those
trees.
more like trees?
If a square is half or more full of bushes or trees, then it is difficult terrain.
Gotcha. Okay.
Similar goes for like a rock.
Okay. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down to like about this position.
Okay.
And I've got 50 feet of movement, so I can go around the tent and stuff.
Okay.
And I am going to activate my arms and, I'm gonna activate my arms and Visage of the Elemental Self for 2 key points.
Bam.
And then I'm going to just ready an attack action for if any of these 3 apes comes within my range.
All right, give yourself the 3 blades for readied.
Okay.
Okay, so now we are getting into a full round. Akiri, your go. Ref is on.
Alrighty. I am just burning through my third level spells today.
All right. What are you doing?
Akiri's casting Beacon of Hope.
What's that do?
The spell bestows hope and vitality. Choose any number of creatures within range. For the duration, each target has advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws, and regains the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing. Should have popped it sooner, but here we are.
How could you have popped it sooner?
Opening. It was either...
Daylight was a good choice.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're not concentrating on daylight?
Nope, it's not a concentration spell.
Very cool. So Beacon of Hope you are now concentrating on, and it's any number of creatures within range. Okay, very nice. It doesn't even say you have to see them, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, spectacular.
Yeah, so I think that's everyone in our group, so everyone gets Beacon of Hope.
Okay.
Cool.
Anything else you want to do? Movement?
Nope, she's staying here. She's actually in a pretty good spot at the moment.
Nice. Okay, I am going to... we're going to use the flag icon for the beacon. That brings us to Bref's turn. Bref, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please.
That's a 15.
Okay. You have shaken awake, and the jolt of fear through your system and adrenaline is making you awake and not groggy. However, you are now suffering fear of the apes.
Is it all the apes that I'm afraid of?
Yes.
Okay, then I can't really move in any direction.
Well, you can't see them until you poke your head out of the tent. So you poke your head out of the tent and you kind of take in the situation, we'll say. How about that?
Okay, so I'm gonna stand up and can I take like just a 5-foot step out of the tent? Or would it be this? I guess there's only the one opening.
Yeah, I think that the opening is on that side. So you step out of the tent and you seize up with... That's absolutely accurate. Go ahead and refresh your inspiration. And so you have disadvantaged ability checks and attack rolls while the source of your fear is in line of sight. And you're going, ooh, ooh, ooh. And you cannot willingly move closer to the source of the fear. So there's really one direction only that is available to you if you do want to move.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay here and like Vapos, I'm gonna ready a reckless attack in case any apes come within range.
I believe you have to be raging, right, to use reckless?
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to say that. I'm using my bonus action, because readying takes your reaction, correct?
Yeah,
Yes,
no.
it does.
Okay.
Takes your
I meant
action.
to say that. I am using my bonus action to rage.
I believe, I'm not looking at the roll right now, but from memory, it uses your action to ready, and then when you trigger the readied action, it uses your reaction.
Okay. Then yeah, this will be my movement, standing up, moving out, bonus action rage, and then ready in action.
Okay, so you channel that adrenaline fear to anger. Mavra. Fortitude, Constitution saving throw, please. A 1. Mavra. You have had this weird experience in all of your sleeping of late, where you keep feeling like there's a dream that's trying to pull you down into deep waters, and it keeps not quite happening, as though the muse were trying to reach you, but somehow not quite able to. And the clutches of sleep refuse to leave you. You wake up, but you're groggy. You are groggy, Mavra.
So does that mean I can't do anything?
No, not at all. It's just going to give you disadvantage on most rolls.
Okay.
And it's gonna make you move a little slower too.
Maybe I'll roll out of the lean-to, hearing Akiri's cry, and
Okay.
maybe I'll get up and grab Dragon's Bite,
Okay.
and I'll just ready an attack.
Okay, you can do that. So Mavra, to be specific, it's like poison. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. And you're also, it's like being slowed slightly. So you have 10, your move is reduced by 10 feet.
Okay.
While you're groggy. Okay. Okay, so Mavra, you are not going to be able to wear your armor. Nobody is wearing their armor. Oh, I forgot to roll for Shadir. My bad. Actually, I found a better way of doing that. But that's fine. Hopefully this doesn't break the stream. Don't break the stream. Don't break the stream. Okay. So that brings us, after Mavra, to the bad guys again, I do believe. Okay. So as you guys are waking up, getting ready, the group comes charging in, and they come charging in with shocking speed. Seeing the ineffectiveness of their rock throwing. Yeah. So this guy comes running up the, bounding along, partially on the wall, partially in the tree. And he's going to come slamming into you, Vapos.
Okay. I'm going to be taking an attack at him in response.
Yeah, now I think you can actually do it before he gets to attack.
I can because I said when he comes into my reach, and
Yep.
I can reach 10 feet away.
That's right, so you're actually attacking when he's here.
Yep.
Ba-boom. You can feel almost the ground shaking under this enormously muscular creature.
So, awesome. That is a 15 to hit.
Hit.
And 11 force damage.
Okay. That seems to cut deeply with the, or I guess it would be smashing, like, deeply into its muscular body. But with the momentum of it, it's still coming on at the moment, and it comes smashing into you. And it hits you, or tries to hit you with its fist, but that is not going to hit. That's going to bring us to another one. Said does the same thing.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That should have been 2 attacks. They get 2 fists.
Okay.
So double fist. A 21 is a hit.
Yep.
Okay. So that's 8 bludgeoning. So it basically does this downward slap as it comes at you. And you narrowly get taking it to the dome, but it kind of hits your shoulder and does a solid 8 bludgeoning. This other one is coming in and doing 2 fist attacks as well.
Okay.
Getting double fisted again. And that looks like another 1 hit. He does not have advantage. No. You made your save versus fear, right?
I did.
Okay. So yeah, that's a 21 to hit. That's 9 more bludgeoning.
Okay.
And how did this one get damaged?
I don't think any of them. I just hit the 1.
So somehow when I damaged... Oh. That's a messed up... That's a fucked up setting on Roll20. Because they're all considered
all
the
bound
same
to each other.
character.
That's not good.
Got to be kidding me. Alright, hey, hang on. I'm having a technical difficulty of my own. Stand by. I'm just going to have to turn that off.
Yeah, a quick way to fix it is to just not use the red number. Use one of the ones that's not being used, like green or something, for yourself.
That'll be easier. What a stupid problem.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
Okay. So he comes charging in. Boom! Boom! Double fist.
Okay. Bring it.
Those are both going to be misses. You slide out of the way, having learned your lesson in their attack from the first 2. On the other side, these 2... they are looking at a couple of targets that have not come forward, like Vapos has. So these guys are going to swing up into the trees and hurl more heavy objects at you. So this is against Breath. That's a miss. And this is against Mavra, who is not wearing her armor. But that's probably still a miss, Mavra, isn't it?
What is it? 19?
It's a 9.
Oh, yeah, that misses.
So unless you have a penalty to dexterity, you aren't getting hit. Okay. This big guy, however, Mavra, he is hurling another giant log at you. And that appears to be a natural 20. Mavra, unless you tell me otherwise, you're getting struck on the dome by this giant hurled log. What is with my crits nowadays? Oh my god. Ooh. Mavra, you're going to take 46 damage. Bella's turn.
Alrighty.
It's still building in volume.
So I guess I have to.
Con save.
That's a 9.
Okay, I'm afraid you're groggy. So that's disadvantage and minus 10-foot speed.
Okay, well, I'm going to stand up from prone, I guess. And
You're in a tent.
if I stand up from prone and exit the tent, do I have any actions left?
Sure. That doesn't even
All
use
right.
up all your movement. You can still move another 5 feet. Although
So I'm gonna
you would be exiting on the other side into Akiri's space. So you wouldn't have any movement left, but you'd still have actions.
Okay. Alright. In that case, I am going to cast a spell. Let's see. Who can I see? Oh, just those guys. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to cast Confusion.
Okay. Ten-foot radius sphere center of the point you choose within range.
Alright, so I'm gonna center it here.
Sorry, here? In that intersection?
Yes.
Alright, so you're hitting these 3 guys.
That's the idea.
Okay?
Alright, so each one of these guys must succeed on a wisdom save.
Alright.
DC is 17.
They all fit.
Alright, so each one of them is going to have randomized actions until they succeed on a wisdom save.
Cool.
And I guess that's the end of my turn.
Okay. That does remind me. Gref, you do get a new save at the end of your turn. Let's do it at the start of your next turn, though, okay?
Sounds good.
Against fear. Okay. So, Shadir, who rolled a natural 20 on his fear save, comes busting out of the tent and says, "Ah! What's going on? It's a combat situation, everyone!"
Amazing.
And he is going to raise his talons and call forth these glowing runes from thin air, which go rushing out in all directions. And he yells, "Magic missile!" Okay, so he is blasting 4 of the visible apes. Okay, so this one's taking... So this guy gets hit with a magic missile. This guy's HP's going down by... Okay. So these 3 that are in combat with Vapos take a hit, and he's also sending one at the big guy, which roars in response as he actually took the most damage from the magic missile. And Jadir's like, we've got to do something, and he is actually going to take off into the air and fly, hopefully out of reach. So that was 5, 10. Speed is half, so he can only go a little bit up into the air. Okay. He does seem to be groggy as well. Shadir. Okay. Obviously, from that performance. Vapos, you're up.
All right. So Vapos can see that the creatures in front of him are confused, but that's not going to prevent them from taking reactions to attack me if I leave.
That's right.
So I think Vapos is going to continue to focus on these guys. So we're going to do some flurry of blows here. Because with just 50 feet of movement, I'm not going to be able to... Well, actually, I could.
You'll be reduced by moving through his space.
Yeah.
And possibly the fire pit as well.
Yeah, I don't think I could quite make it with just my normal movement. So yeah, I'm going to focus on these guys. So I'm just going to do a flurry of blows here.
Okay.
I'm going to do 3 attacks.
Okay. First.
First one is, I'm going to start with the guy that I've already hit.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, so the first one is a 13 to hit.
Hit.
That's going to be 14 force damage.
He goes down. Bam!
Okay.
You just knocked out a gorilla.
All right.
You got into a fist fight with a gorilla and won!
All right. Second attack is going to be against this one.
He's taking damage from Shadir.
Yep. That is a 21 to hit for
Hit.
14 force damage.
The gorilla wobbles, but somehow stays on his hands and knuckles. His feet
Okay.
and knuckles.
All right. Then I'm going to make one attack against this one as well.
Okay, not the same one? Okay.
Not the same one.
Okay. He also took some damage from Shadir.
And that's a natural 20
Okay, for a total of...
for a total of 16 force damage.
Oh my god, same exact situation. Bam! Wobbles. You see the angry, hungry eyes go wide with shock and fear and awe from your water-empowered fist. Anything else?
Yes, I am going to... or I'm actually going to drop my elemental arms and then reactivate them now to hit these guys with the area of effect attack of it.
You have a remaining action to do that?
Yep, it's a bonus action.
You don't use your bonus action with that...
The way that the new one, or the way we talked about it works, it's all part of the same action now.
Oh, okay.
It's not a bonus action to get the extra attacks. It's just more key. I'm not going to be able to recover as much this turn.
I see. It's the new monk. Okay, go for it.
Yep. All right. So that
What
is
do I
going to
do,
be
save?
5 damage if they fail a DC 16 dex save.
Dex save. Okay. Go on the left. 11. On the right. 9. How much damage is it?
5 damage.
Downed. Knocked out by splashes! Or waterbending, as my daughter spent an hour in the bathtub doing today, according to her.
All right. Cool. Cool. And then, sorry, Bella, but since since these guys are done, I'm going to move. I think I'm going to go just kind of around a little bit to get myself in position to go and deal with these ones over here.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Okie dokie. So, the chanting grunts, the rhythmic grunting from the apes has increased in volume, and seeing three of them just punched out has somewhat freaked them out, but this guy looks angrier than ever. Akiri, you're up. Akiri?
Sorry. Oh, what the heck? Why not? This will be fun. Akiri has been keeping an eye on the massive, fuckety-looking one down to the south.
Yeah.
So, what she's gonna do is good old friend guiding bolt.
Okay. Go for it.
Motherfucker, that's a 14.
Okay. Unfortunately, this thing's white fur seems to give it some measure of protection. And it's also pretty nimble. And it will actually just use 2 of its 6 limbs to shove itself out of the way. And also the white fur seems to protect it, so it's just a glancing blow and it doesn't seem to stick and do damage. Didn't work out. What else do you want to do?
She's gonna mutter, she's gonna grumble under her breath and end her turn.
Okay. Ref. Oh, make a new save, Bref. And now
Yes.
you have advantage from Beacon of Hope.
Wisdom save. I think that'll do it.
Natural 20. Bref, you just, your brain realigns as you watch everything that's been going on, and you're bolstered by the power of the god of celebrating and drinking, and you shake that fear off with gusto. So, what are you doing?
Alright, so with my
I'm gonna get rid of this daylight effect, because as cool as it is, I think it's blocking our view of what's going on there.
with my Storm Soul, I have a swim speed of 30. So I'm trying to figure out the movement. If I dash, I have a movement speed of 40 feet, but a swim speed of 30. Would I be able to get to Monkey if I dash? Yeti. Clearly a Yeti.
I have a mental block about calculating varying kinds of move speeds over. So you have a swim speed of 30
Yes.
and a move speed of what?
40.
40. Well, if you dash, you can do it.
I couldn't do it in one move, but a double
no,
move.
it'd be pretty easy. That's actually not hard to calculate if you're dashing.
Okay. Then I'm dashing to the monkey.
Right, because you can just use 20 feet of movement to get there, and then you can use your 30 across there, and then you have remaining. So, actually,
Perfect.
yeah. So that makes
Oh,
it
I'm
real
going to
simple.
take. I'm sorry. What?
That makes it really simple.
Okay. I like simple.
Okay, you still have a
Russ is
bonus
simple,
action
man.
if you want.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to take off my ready attack because
Okay, go
that's
for
no longer a thing.
Go for it.
And then bonus action, I'm gonna zap the monkey
Okay.
for 1 point of lightning damage.
1 point of lightning. So
And that will
it has been
end my
needled
turn.
twice now. It is pissed off. That's Bref's turn. Mavra's turn. Mavra, you're no longer prone, right?
Yeah. Do I make another Constitution saving throw?
To shake off the grogginess. Yes. Yeah, you're pretty tough. You shake it off.
Okay, seeing Vapos smash those other apes, I'm thinking I'm gonna follow Breath, but I don't have his special swimming skills, so how would that... Would it be...
You'll be moving at each square of movement through the water is going to cost 3 times as much.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You want to get across 16, right? 17. Unfortunately, he took this closest square, I think. Let's see. So that's 20 feet right there. And then that costs 60. You have a speed of what?
Well, with my boots, it's 50, and if I dash, it would be 100.
Okay, so that's 60 plus 20, that's 80. So if you dash, then you can make it at 90 feet. Or 95, depending on how far you want to go. So yes, if you click your boots, you can do it.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and click my boots and do that. Do that while in my turn.
All right. So Mavra basically runs into the water, like does this like super fast kicking swim across, and then leaps out of the water and is all the way over there in the breadth of 6 seconds. Very nice. You should be able to get a little. Oh no, maybe you can't get a little closer. That's it. Okay. If that's the end of your turn.
Yep.
Now it's the bad guys. Okay. The reaches a crescendo. So everyone's going to need to make a new save against fear.
With advantage, thanks to Beacon of Hope.
Correct. Does Beacon of Hope, they just have to be within 30 at the start of the spell? They don't have to remain within 30?
As far as I know, yes.
Range 30. For the duration, has advantage. Yeah, very nice.
Awesome.
So Vapos got a 20 and a 20.
I
What's
think
Vapos'?
Vapos is okay. Vapos is not scared of monkeys after punching 3 of them out.
Bella, you are benefiting from that advantage strongly. Alright, so everybody is fine against the chanting. These two look like they might be fixing to run away, but they are watching across the river to see what this thing does. So this thing rears up above you guys, many feet taller than you, and it raises its forearms, and suddenly it dawns on you as it goes into this crazy attack pattern that ending your turn adjacent to it might be exactly the wrong strategy. And now it's going to rip into Breath. Breath. It is going to make 5 attacks on you. And
Yeah, those will definitely hit.
Though, those 4 attacks, your AC is 17? Is it?
Correct.
No, you're not wearing your armor.
I have armor.
Sorry?
I do not have armor.
You don't wear armor normally?
Yeah, and barbarians are generally unarmored.
Okay. In that case, yeah. Okay. So here's the thing, Breath. When 2 of its arms latch onto you with their claws, it does this rending move. So every 2 claw attacks that it hits you with, it pulls. It latches on with the claws, and it tries to rip you in half. And that does bonus damage. Okay. So, so I'm just gonna add it all. Oh, I guess, should I add it all together? No, because are you still raging?
Yes, I've been attacked each turn.
Okay, so I need to actually do each of these damages separately because they're each going to be halved separately. Ugh. Why don't we just add it all together and then have it so my life is easier, and then I'll, we'll say.
If it ends up making a big difference, we can fix it afterwards, but that makes sense to me.
Don't forget you have 4 temp HP or something. Okay, so that's 14 plus that. Okay. Okay, so that's 6 times 4, 8, 2 plus. And then, oh right, and then it hit you, it's going to rend you again, right? Because, yeah, it's going to rend you 2 times. Then it also, so that's, and then it's also going to bite you once it's ripped and teared on you.
Can I make a perception check to see how its dental health is?
Oh, it's pretty nasty in there.
Oh,
It's had these huge jaws, these huge gorilla jaws and fangs that it bites down with. So that's another So that would be a grand total of 64 damage. Just 64 rending, slashing, piercing damage. But you are raging, and your muscles are taking on this unnatural strength and toughness. So you are going to have that 64 to 32.
Got it.
Now, here's the thing. You're still standing after that. In fact, you're not even at half health. And the apes over here look freaked out, and they turn tail and go bounding off into the darkling jungle and mountainous area. So they are just leaving. That only leaves the monster behind. Bella.
Alright, I am not going to go across the river, but I would like to make it, let's see, I was here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You
Make it
are
there.
you oh no, you succeeded. Yeah, you're fine. Don't forget you're still groggy unless you make another constitution saving throw.
Does that take up an action?
No, just roll it.
I guess I'm still groggy.
Alright, you're still groggy, so your speed is reduced by 10.
Okay. In that case, I can't get that far, so I'll go there. I'm going to pull out my bow and arrow. And I'm not going to shoot under these circumstances, so I guess I'm just going to double move. Can I climb on top of this rock?
Absolutely. You scramble up that boulder.
Alright, I'm going to climb up that rock, and that's going to end my turn.
Shadir goes. And he says, "Yeah, you better run, you apes." And he's going to throw more magic missiles at them. You hear some howls of pain in the darkness, and then 2 of the missiles hit this guy. Actually, you know, Shadir's pretty intelligent. He's going to direct all the missiles at this guy. But he yells after the apes that fled. And then it's Vapos' turn. After the big guy takes some more damage. 12.
All right. Vapos is going to be using his bonus action to Step of the Wind so that he can dash as a bonus action. And then he's going to run. Let's see. Yeah, with the bonus action, he's got plenty of movement. So he's going to run all the way across over there.
Partially swimming. All right.
Yep, and then he is going to, or he's going to punch this guy. He can only punch him twice this time. So that is a 26 to hit for 15 force damage.
All right, bam.
And second one is a 21 to hit for 17 force damage.
Okay, this thing sways on its many limbs, but it puts down more limbs and somehow stays upright. But you can see the look change in its raging red eyes. Anything else, Vapos?
That's it.
Akiri.
Alright, Kiri is going to... She's going to move down a couple squares. To, like, there. And then she's going to fucking... pew-pew him again.
Alright.
In a second. Because I really need to figure out my mouse keypoints. Anyways.
You want to just roll a d20? Okay, is that an 11? M?
Yes, it fucking looks like it is.
So this incredibly powerful blast of energy carrying 30 points of damage fucking annihilates this jungle tree over here. Bam! Destroying it in a blaze of light. And then it's Breph's turn.
To avoid having to attack recklessly, I'm gonna step around the monkey to a flanking position with Mavra and wallop him.
Okay.
That's a 23 and a 21 to hit.
He done been walloped. How do you want to do this?
To look the monkey right in its eyes and just... "Ah!" And with my two swipes, one on the left, two arms gone, one on the right, the other two arms gone, and then I'm going to kick him onto his back.
Oh man. Yeah. The thing stumbles back and collapses on the riverbank, spewing blood from the 4 stumps and staining the water. Well done, you guys.
Awesome.
Well, you clean the blood off. What do you want to do with the bodies, the corpses?
Do we want to let the river take them?
Sure.
Sounds fine to me.
All right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't think we need any of the meat or the pelts off of these.
All right. You roll the heavy, muscular bodies into the river, and they go flowing on down. On down the river. You send them down the river, and off they go. This 8-foot tall, 4-armed thing, and its separated limbs takes some doing, but eventually you will have a cleared area, and you can go back to watching and sleeping. You're going to have to sleep a bit extra late into the next morning in order so that you get a full night's rest. Or you can get up at your regular time and you'll have to make constitution saving throws or risk a level of exhaustion. Which one do you want to do?
This is
I
a
vote for
fantasy
sleeping
game.
in.
We sleep in.
Okay.
I'm fine with sleeping in.
Well, the day is going to dawn, and you are, unless you tell me otherwise, you can pack your campsite up. You can fill your water skins in the now cleared river. Strike the tents, load them up on the horses, and consult your map. about where you would like to go next. As a reminder, your players cannot see this red line, so they can potentially get lost. Nanthos screen name says, no, take the bodies and display them as a warning to any other monkeys in the area. Monkey business is closed for the day, says Taladar. Lots of monkey jokes in the chat today. So, what are you doing? Where are you heading?
I believe we're continuing to head north, correct?
Yep.
All right.
Just everyone should keep in mind, we did receive, we did receive some information. I think that Jakasa's hideout might be just a couple of days north from here. So we might want to be careful if we come upon the ruins of a temple.
Some good thinking.
Well, you can see some ruins off to the east as you make your way through the mountains, down in the swamp. It would be hard to identify them at this distance.
Oh wait, there's a swamp to the east of us?
You take stock this morning. You climb, you climb to the next rise, and you look around. And do you have the who has the wilderness background? Who grew up out in the wilderness? The whatever you call it, outsider.
Outlander. Outlander.
Anybody?
Not me, unfortunately.
I know that at one point we had like 4 people with that background.
I mean, definitely not Bella.
Okay, you can make a survival check to try to examine the surrounding territory, but see, Outlanders will get this for free without having to make a check. Would you like to make a survival check, Vapos? Oh, you did.
Yep, but not a very good one.
Yeah, Vapos, you're having a hard time getting like a really good vantage point. Does anyone else want to try?
Well, I'll give it a shot.
Don't you have the Outlander background?
No, I'm a sailor.
Oh, that's right.
I have Outlander.
Well, there you go. Shadir's not going to be any much help because he is staying close to the group and staying close to the ground. Actually, Shadir is spending a lot of time excitedly discussing the events of his first ever combat that didn't end with him being chained to a fire portal. He is you can kind of tell with your high wisdom as his sister, you can kind of tell that your brother is overcompensating or just compensating for being kind of freaked out by the experience.
Understandable. She's gonna like kind of bump into him later that day and say, "Hey, you did good."
Your brother doesn't really, you were the explorer, so you kind of have the Outlander background. He kind of has more of a scholar. He would have a scholar background because he spent his time with books. So you fly up to a high height and take stock per Vapos trying to get his bearings. And you look around and you are still in these forested mountains. dotted by streams and rivers. To the east, somewhat to the east and somewhat to the south, you can see, well, it's to the northeast and the southeast. You see this wide stretch of swampland, and more toward the south, there are various ruins scattered around the swamp. And you can't necessarily get a good identifying bead on them, but some of them are large enough to see at a day's travel away, even if you are high up in the air. So they have to be, pretty extensive ruins in some places. Way to the far to the east, you think you spot a tall spire or tower of some kind. To the northwest, you see farmland, and that is familiar to you. You recognize that road that winds amongst the farms and into the foothills of the Cloud Summit Peaks, where you are currently traveling. Away down to, in that direction, you remember that was the road that took you from Arkney. To your southwest, there are more mountains covered in this blanket of green forest. But there does seem to be, off in the distance, several columns of smoke and other signs of some kind of settlement. And then directly to the south, that's the direction you've been coming from, through the Cloud Summit Peaks, and then those eventually give way to the Whisperwood, where you grew up.
Nice.
And I should say, directly to the north, you would pretty much only be able to see more mountains and forest, more of the Cloud Summit Peaks range. Okay. So that's you taking stock of your location. So once you share that information with Vapos, does Vapos have something to say?
Yes, very much so. Listen, I understand that we're trying to get north to reach the Swordwing Summit, and I know this is a little bit out of the way, but it really seems to me like those ruins you described to the southeast are probably the ones that I'm looking for. I think that might be where Jakas is holed up. Do we have time to make a detour?
We have an extra day or two. I think we'll be okay if we take a fast detour.
Right. I'm really sorry. We probably, if we had thought to look for this yesterday, we might have been able to save ourselves a bit of time, but I think he's got something to do with this attack on the Swordwings as well. And so I think it's in our best interest to go and deal with him.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Then yeah, let's take a detour then.
Okay. So you guys turn your course to the southeast, if I'm hearing that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Well, I am going to need travel checks. Now, this terrain that you are traveling through, you guys are going to be heading through these forested mountains. The region into which you are heading is only going to get rougher and more challenging. Now, the horses are going to actually be pretty helpful in the beginning of this journey. But they're going to become a problem once you guys get into the swamps. Because the horses, you're going to have to basically lead them carefully.
Max, are you going to R-tax us?
Oh, I would. So, don't screw this up. How do you guys want to travel safely?
As much as I want to help here, I think Vapos is very specifically not being very helpful right now. He's probably consumed by inner thoughts about what he's about to go do, potentially.
All right. Akiri would like to do a perception check, her normal scouting perception check.
Go for it. You leave the river behind and fly through the mountains, peering in every direction that you can, and that will be a success, actually.
Yay!
So, you guys, after traveling in the first part of the day, are going to be getting down out of the forest, the mountains giving way to hills and transitioning into wetter territory. Those rivers and streams are kind of sinking into the earth, and the thick plant life is going to get thicker, and you are going to start seeing everywhere you look these lots of little streams, lots of bodies of water. There's going to start to be a hum of insects in the air amongst the hills, and you're going to hear a lot of the croaking of frogs. Rabbit. And you're going to just notice, it's just going to get slightly more and more noticeable as you travel. You get 4 temp HP, Kiri, for participating. Who else wants to jump in?
Okay. So since we're looking for some specific people and looking for signs that there are people around, I would like to start keeping my eyes peeled for signs of life that we could potentially follow toward, because the compound looked pretty large. So I want to start looking for signs of people that we can follow to find the specific guys that we're looking for.
Okay.
And I would like to make an investigation check.
Okay. We're going to try to investigate as you go. With
That's a 26.
Impressive. Very impressive. Well, you are going to succeed, obviously. And you're going to find almost too much evidence rather than too little. You're going to see that there are multiple inhabited ruins down there. And you're going to come to realize, you said you're looking for like a large complex.
Yeah, that was my understanding that was kind of what we were heading toward as well.
Was it? What you're going to... Well, you're going to notice the impressive tower rising up off to the east. So there do seem to be pathways that generally lead in that direction. Okay?
Okay.
But there are a lot of inhabited ruins in the swamp. And some of them are more extensive than others, but not so much what you would describe as a compound.
Okay.
You will pick up on... You have a 26, so I'm kind of giving you some bonus info here. You will pick up on, in your investigations, between maps and investigating as you go, you will pick up on the fact that there do seem to be multiple kinds of ruins from very clearly different cultures, different empires that have ruled the Wildlands in the past. So you see distinctive temple architecture, perhaps going all the way back to 1,000 years ago in the Empire of Ebb. You see some kind of Gothic arches rising up here and there, and these elaborate remains of elaborate buildings half sunk into the swamp, and that is clearly Vey Empire. And then there are other ruins still that may be older or that aren't immediately obvious what they mean. But there is one more thing that I want to tell you, which is that when you do come to an actual pathway that has a crossroads and a sign in the swamp, you investigate it, Bella, because you're investigating all such landmarks, and you discover a pulsing blue rune on the signpost.
Is it the rune?
Yeah, it's the same one that you've been seeing.
The fuckity one.
You do get 4 temp HP, Bella, as you help out. Alright, you guys need one more success to travel safely. And I do have a question.
You can ask. I have a travel thing, but you can do your question first.
The question is, do you want to head for the more well, what I guess what do you want to head for the kind of more expansive, half sunk into the swamp kind of ruins by like a stream, or do you want to head for the ruins that look more like a kind of a like the ruins of a temple?
Vapos would probably